And welcome back to the week of Who Would Win. Today's Who Would Win comes for us from Irish Moro Tom, who asked the question, who would win in a fight? And I couldn't find anyone else who giving me the specific suggestion. And there might have been, I just didn't get around to it. So let me know if you had. I'll put your name in the descriptor. Uh, Damian Wayne versus Terry Mcginnis, the illegitimate sons of Bruce Wayne, duking it out. Now, actually, there is a comic series run because I was looking for images to make the thumbnail in the background. There's a comic series where these two actually do fight. In that series, obviously Terry McGinnis is the new Batman, but Damian Wayne has taken over the League of Shadows and has been using the Lazarus Pit to stay young. So there is a comic series where that happens, and I don't actually know who's like. There's different images where Damian's clearly beaten Terry, but at the same time Terry's clearly beaten Damian. So it's kind of hard to say who wins that fight because that's just the way it's written. And that's the problem with any comic book character. Like, that's the problem with any verses, really, is that it's all about how you write the fight, and either one of them could win, theoretically. But if you're just looking at their skills, power, or looking at their armor, weapons, and skills to find out who would win and who would win, to paraphrase and steal from Death Battle. But yeah, I mean, that's just generally what I do. And obviously, it's all in my opinion. So whatever I choose doesn't mean it's the definitive answer. Either way, Terry McGinnis is... Neither of these guys are clones. Let's be completely fair here. They're both technically the biological children of Bruce Wayne. Damian specifically is legitimately his son. He was born from him and Talia al Ghul. Terry, if we go by, because Batman Beyond existed before the comics, if we go by what Batman Beyond, the animated series, says, and the epilogue, we find out, Justice League Unlimited, weirdly enough, we find out that Terry's father's DNA, his reproductive DNA to be sure, or specific, was overridden with Bruce's DNA because of Amanda Waller, who felt that their world always needed a Batman. And she was basically instrumental in the creation of Terry McGinnis. So that's kind of how they're both his son. One is his legitimate son. One is kind of his illegitimate son. Through extraneous circumstances. Either way, though, Damian grew up with the League of Assassins. He was grown and groomed to be a warrior, an assassin, a fighter. And because of this, Damian is not altogether there. He's very mature for his age, but he's still a child, so he only sees the world in black and white. Obviously, the comics and even the animated movies have done a certain amount to kind of help him alleviate that mindset. Hell, he even dated Raven in the movies for a little bit. So he's still a kid. He's still capable of growing and changing, but he is still a very headstrong, a matter-of-fact kind of kid with that mindset. It's like, okay, these people are bad. Why don't we kill them? That kind of mindset, which isn't healthy. But that being said, when you have been trained by the League of Assassins to be a master assassin, which he is, even at such a young age, he is a master assassin. It kind of behooves him to be a little, mature and cold. He is a master martial artist trained by God knows how many individuals for the longest time. Since he was born, pretty much. His mom, Raish. Obviously, Batman himself, Bruce. He's trained with Nightwing. And again, in the animated movies, I believe it was The Court of Owls, he lost the fight to Nightwing. So despite the fact that as a kid, and we are looking at him right now as a kid, he is highly skilled. He can't take on true masters. Like, he is a master in his own age group by his own, peers. Theoretically, compared to the Teen Titans, he is a master martial artist, but he compared to someone who's just more experienced, more matured, just larger, like Batman, Deathstroke, Nightwing. He has a long way to go. But still, he's a master with bladed weapons, stealth, deception. He carries around a katana with him as well. He's actually a master swordsman. He's also very skilled at getting inside your head because of how mature he actually is. So it's it's one of those things that he's someone well beyond his years, but he's still a child. If you look at the adult version of him, it's kind of the same where that mindset really never changed. Well, it depends on which version of Damian you look at. There's one where he fought Terry, where he's the leader of the League of Shadows. There's another where he became the next Batman in the future, except he's willing to kill. So using the future Damian's a little tricky because it's hard to really say where he ends up in the future. But yeah, for what it's worth, we will address the future versions, but we cannot really go as far as say whether or not those are the exact versions of Damian. Terry Mcginnis, like we said, was a child born from what was his dad's name? I actually don't remember his mom or dad's actual name, but the Mcginnises. His dad's DNA was overwritten with Bruce's, so he would basically be Bruce's biological son. He has basically the genetic coding of Bruce, or of a Wayne, not of a Mcginnis. I actually don't understand quite how that really was the idea behind that was. Did she assume that Batman was just genetically prone to be Batman? Thinking on it now, that really doesn't make sense. Like things like intelligences and stuff like that do carry over generation to generation. So maybe she was hoping she'd get like the best personality traits out of Bruce, or out of Terry from Bruce. But I don't know. I'm not quite certain what her game goal was with that. Either way, that's his backstory. Lost his parents to the Joker gang. Turns out he didn't lose to a Joker gang. He lost it to, at least again in the TV series, he lost it to is it Max Powers? Is that the name of them? Who becomes Blight? His father lost his life to a henchman of his, who was voiced by George Takei, by the way. And fun fact on that, if you ever haven't watched it, I saw the complete series in Target the other day when I was walking through there. And they had like a deal going on, like $50. I'm like, I'm tight on cash right now, but I would love to pick up the entire series of Batman Beyond. It's not as good as Batman the Animated Series, but it is a really underrated series, I think. And the people who saw Batman Beyond, the majority of people loved Batman Beyond. Like it got 4 seasons for a reason. In fact, I think it got just as many seasons as the original Batman Animated Series did. I think it got the exact same amount. So look, it's clearly had an audience. It was clearly loved on some level. And I do own the Return of the Joker movie, which is a great movie. I really dug on Batman Beyond. I really did. But I digress. So he ultimately finds Bruce Wayne and becomes Batman. As Terry Mcginnis. He is a master martial artist because not only was he just a skilled street fighter to begin with I think some like basic karate background or whatever, but he then went on to learn from Bruce and Bruce's old masters, or some Bruce's old master anyway. So he became a legitimate master martial artist. He's also, unlike most Batman, he's a lot more talkative. He's actually able to get into your head. That's actually how we messed with the Joker, where he's just like Joker's vain. He likes to talk. He'll try to get in your head, but muscle through it. And Terry's just like, wait a minute, I like to talk. And then it's like, they just starts ripping in the Joker's like, who do you think you're talking to, boy? Not a comedian, that's for sure. The real Batman never talked to you that much. That's probably why you're so fixated on him. Get it, wake up, get a clue. A man has no sense of humor. I mean, where's the A material? Drop your pants, put a pie in your face, do something. It's like, shut up. So you make me laugh, but only because I find you kind of pathetic. It's like, stop laughing at me. Why? I thought the Joker always wanted to make Batman laugh. You're not bad. It's like, yeah, it's like, even though Joker always, Batman was his fixation. Terry was the first Batman to ever get under his skin. That I actually really dug that finale. Just like, yeah, it's clear. It's like, what are you doing? Fighting dirty. The real Batman was like, told you didn't know me. I really need to rewatch them. I loved that movie. I really do. Anyway, but yeah, he's a street fighter. But he's streetwise too. Don't get me wrong. Bruce is streetwise to some degree. Like he goes on the streets with like under his aliases and stuff like that. But Terry grew up on the street. Batman experienced what it was like to grow up on the streets when he like went through his like training and stuff like that. But Terry grew up a bad kid. He did bad things. I don't think he ever killed anyone or anything like that. But he's clearly done some bad stuff. And you know, that's one of the things, like he's making up for past sins, basically, as he put it in the movie. So Terry's actually very streetwise and has a streetwise mindset. Along with, and he's not actually a dumb kid either. Like, he is actually very intelligent. He's just not he's not like Bruce Wayne, Batman level intelligent, or original Batman intelligent, but he's still intelligent. Couple that with a highly advanced suit that I believe it increases his strength a minimum tenfold. I think Death Battle actually concluded it increased it a lot more than that, but tenfold, I believe, is like the general increase. Plus, enhanced durability, can withstand gunfire as long as it's not high caliber rounds. Can withstand gunfire, no problem. And remember, in the future, they're not using like bullets; they're using like lasers. At least the police force are using lasers. So yeah, and it can withstand that to a certain degree. Flight with the wings and the jet boots. I always think jet boots when I say jet boots from Shaolin Showdown. Another show that's underrated, by the way. Shaolin Showdown. Another show I should probably, if I can ever find a complete series of it, pick it up. And it's like, yeah, it's probably online. Yeah, but I'm one of those people who will continue to buy physical media till it dies completely. Never find it ever again, period. So, because I just want that collection. Always have it on me at all times. Anyway, its suit can turn invisible for a certain amount of time. I believe that function actually drains a lot of the power. Its suit has the batarangs, which just appear. It appear out of the wrist, and I'm guessing because they fold in on you. The batarangs are very compact, so you must have a certain amount in there. Explosives, smoke bombs, radar sensing, radar and like thermal vision, basically like detective sense, basically like in the Arkham games. In his cowl, and he's connected to the Batcave through Bruce. Plus, he can access the Batmobile remotely through the suit, which is a tank in its own right. So, these two fighting each other is interesting. But if we're just talking about Kid Damian versus Terry Mcginnis, Kid Damian is he's a relic compared to Terry. Now, let's be clear. That doesn't mean Damian couldn't win if he were, say, Bruce Wayne's age, like if he were Batman. Because I believe Bruce Wayne, in his prime, beats Terry Mcginnis even with that suit, because Bruce Wayne is a far more competent, matured strategist than Damian is. Damian's still a child, and therefore still can be blinded by his emotions, be it rage, joy, arrogance, whatever. Batman keeps a lot of that more in check and is able to, that's how he beat Azrael. Azrael's suit was far more advanced than his, but he basically worked it, strategized to a point where he was able to get him to strip down his armor and then beat the living crap out of him. So I believe that Batman, original Batman, I keep saying Batman, it's still Batman. Bruce Wayne would beat Terry. Damian lacks a lot of the growth that Bruce has. So while Damian would certainly be a fight for Terry, no doubt about it. Like Damian come and throw, shurikens, batarangs. Terry would probably just block them with the suit, wondering where he went. Damian would probably come in with his sword, and Terry would actually feel the blade. Like the blade would probably cut him to some degree. It's like, Dah! And then it's like, got you now. And then he tries to stab Terry, but Terry just grabs the blade and just snaps it. And then just boom, starts kind of wailing into Damian, who tries his best to keep up, but after a good few hits, remember the suit enhances strength. From a good few solid shots, and Terry's still knowing how to fight. Let's be clear. He knows how to fight. Damian's not going to last very long. Damian, furthermore, Terry's much larger, so Damian tries to maybe go for a kick. Terry can literally just grab him, and if he wants to, he can A, use him as a freaking punching bag, B, ragdoll his ass, or C, just, at that point, just put him in a chokehold and just knock him out. So, unfortunately, Kid Damian versus Terry does not go well for Damian. It does not. Adult version of Damian versus Terry. Now, that is different. Let's see. Now, I gotta actually be I want to be very clear on future Damian Wayne. Damian Wayne. Future Damian, because there's different timelines of Damian Wayne. Yeah, Damian Wayne. So Damian Wayne and Batman in Bethlehem. That is a version of Damian Wayne where he becomes Batman after he's unable to save the second Batman. Stop moving. Damian has some supernatural powers and is willing to kill. So this version of Damian, let's be very clear here. His abilities include he actually has some divine empowerment, accelerated healing, and immortality, along with driving, mechanical fencing, hand-to-hand advancement sword, all of his standard abilities added on there into an adult body. Yeah, the problem is that what his actual full level supernatural power is unknown. Now, that being said, it does say he has immortality and he does have accelerated healing. So, yeah, Terry could beat this guy to a living pulp. It's not going to matter. He's going to come back from it. Add on to the fact that now you have a Damian who A, is willing to kill still, but B, is now a matured adult who's basically very equivalent to the Batman his father, basically. So now you get these two duking it out. Now, Terry's suit still is, from what I can tell of Damian's bat suit here. I'm not going to bring the picture up, but yeah, I mean, and Damian's got a pretty cool looking bat suit, to be fair. I mean, it looks very much just like like the cowl is still Batman, but instead of a cape, he's wearing almost like a combination of a League of Assassins robe, or cloak, or a race, or like a vest that he wears, combined with a cape. So there's this long flowing cape underneath there. His belt looks actually pretty cool. It's actually and he's got it's actually a really cool design. But yeah, he looks pretty much just like Batman does. Because of that, yeah, it's one of those things that his suit doesn't provide as much protection as Terry's, and Terry's probably got the physical advantage. But now it's just a matter of who's outlasting who in this fight. You have Damian, who's a master assassin, and skillful in more martial arts than Terry probably will ever know, despite the fact Terry is a very skilled martial artist. And you have Terry, who has dealt with master assassin, like I believe it's Kurai was the name of the assassin that he went up against. The Hunter, who was basically like his version of Craven. I remember that guy. He was cool. So he's dealt with individuals very similar to this. So it's tough. In a hand-to-hand fight, Damian's going to take the win. But the problem is, I don't think he has anything that can truly kill Terry right out the gate, except for maybe a sword stab to the neck. Because otherwise, Terry's suit is going to provide enough protection that is going to be negating most of any of the lethal damage that Damian is kind of throwing at him. So it's tough. I think ultimately, though, Damian, this future version of Damian does take the win, because unlike something like, I believe it's probably going to be Future's End Damian that we're going to be looking at, Future's End Damian, he's not insane. He's clearly, because he's not the head of the League of Assassins. He is Batman, so he's taking up the mantle of Batman, which means he had to become more matured, more reserved, better strategist, all of that. But unfortunately, you can tell just by looking at pictures of him, he is clearly not there as Future End Damian. So I give the win with the Batman of Bethlehem to Damian Wayne. All right, so Terry versus, how did this actually end? Because basically, Future's End Damian, I can just tell you who won this fight because this is how they wrote it. Let me see here. Terry found the strength to overcome Suit's AI and let Damian go. He saved his father's life and then also discovered Bruce saved Gotham's life and blah, blah, blah. By the way, spoilers for this comic series. It's only been out for a while now. Knocked him out. But it was too late still. A heroic action by Terry saves the day, and Damian saves Terry's life. Reconciling with both his dad and Terry, Damian promises that one day he'll go back to Gotham to find a solution for both Bruce and Rage, as always wanted to. So, the problem here is that neither of them really, they both one-up each other multiple times. That's the problem here. I mean, who won their initial confrontation? I guess that's the question, the real question we can kind of go by. Bruce was shocked by the violence Damian unleashed and almost didn't recognize his own son. Bruce lost contact with Damian, blah, blah, blah. Where's Terry? Where does he fall into this?
Terry reached the Himalayas and fought with Damian, telling Terry he's not worth the time of Batman, also informing them that Bruce was coming to help. When Damian's father arrived, he was ready to deliver the killing blow to the new Batman. Damian, though, decided against killing Terry. So it seems that Damian did best Terry, but there was mitigating circumstances behind it. So, in a legitimate one-on-one confrontation, without interference, it would actually imply that Terry would win because Damian kind of cheated by bringing Bruce in there. At least that's what I'm kind of gathering from this, but I could be very wrong. I didn't actually read the series, obviously. But that's kind of what I'm getting. So I guess then because of best 2 out of 3 here, I will give the edge to Terry. But that last one, the Damian Wayne, the Future's End one, that's the one that I will not argue anyone arguing. I won't argue with anyone really. It's more just hearing your opinion. But that one is really like I'm not gonna argue with anyone who thinks Terry loses that fight, because that, again, it's written in a way that they're both going to be able to one up each other in some way. I mean, don't get me wrong. Comics don't always do that. Like when Juggernaut recently fought the Hulk again. Juggernaut was losing that fight handedly. Like he could not compare to the Hulk. Whereas, like in this one, it's clear they both gave them their strong suits, their moments. So ultimately, I'm gonna lean towards Terry, but that's only because it seems like Damian needed a few more tricks to beat Terry than Terry needed to beat Damian. And obviously because Terry would beat a kid Damian. He would. I do think, though, that Batman of Bethlehem Damian would beat Terry, though. I do believe that. Ultimately, though, what do you think? Who would win? Put in the comments below. Thanks for watching, though. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, you want us to review something, put that in the comments below and let me know. I'll get to that at some point. So I've got a LancerCorp video to do still. Hit that bell if you want notifications, by the way. LancerCorp video to do still. And I got to pre-record my videos for tomorrow because I'll be working. So thanks for watching and see you next time.